So you've hit 40 and maybe your jeans don't fit quite the same and your energy's dipped, and despite eating healthy and moving more, the scales just aren't budging. Sound familiar? Let me tell you something, you are not broken, and it's absolutely still possible to lose weight after 40. But you need to understand how your body works now, because it's changed, and you know what? That's okay. In today's video, I'm going to break this down into really simple, easy to follow sections. We're gonna cover, are you ready for this? Why weight loss feels harder after 40, the truth about calories and metabolism, why calorie counting is your secret tool, the power of strength training, how to use cardio without exhausting yourself, why protein is your new best friend, understanding carbs, how sleep, stress and hormones affect cravings and fat storage, why dieting doesn't work and what to do instead, and most importantly, how to stay consistent and be patient. Ready? Let's get into it, because this is the stuff that actually works. So is weight loss harder after 40? Yes, weight loss can feel harder after 40, but it's not impossible. What happens is a combination of factors. Our metabolism slows down slightly due to natural aging and hormonal changes, and our energy levels can dip. But here's the truth, your body still burns calories. That hasn't stopped. The real issue for most people is a lifestyle change. You might be sitting more, moving less, eating more processed food, and you're probably losing muscle because you're not strength training. Muscle loss is a biggie. Less muscle means fewer calories burned daily, even at rest. The good news is this is reversible. Your metabolism isn't broken, it's just underused. Once you start working with your body again, you'll see it respond. So what's the truth about calories and metabolism? Let's break this down simply. Your body burns calories all the time, even when you're asleep. This is called your basal metabolic rate, BMR. The more muscle you have, the higher your BMR. That's why metabolism varies from person to person. Now, calories are energy. If you eat more energy than you use, you store it, usually as fat. If you use more energy than you eat, your body uses stored fat for fuel. Many people struggle here because they think they're eating healthy, but they could be overeating without realising it. Mainly because they don't understand portion sizes or calorie values. So the bottom line is calories do matter. They're not the enemy, they're just data. Once you understand how many calories you need, you can start making decisions that actually lead to weight loss. Why is calorie counting a tool you can't ignore? I know calorie counting doesn't sound fun, but it's not something you need to do forever. It's just a short-term tool that teaches you everything you've never been told about food. Calorie counting is not a punishment, it's a powerful tool. Most people have no idea what's actually in their food, and this is especially important for understanding how carbs, fats and proteins fit into your day. You'll start to see if your healthy meals might be too carb heavy. This would explain why you're never full or why you feel bloated every time you eat. When you track your food properly, and I mean accurately, you'll learn which foods are high in carbs, proteins or fat, how to balance your meals, when you're actually full versus just snacking, why you might be tired, bloated or hungry all the time. Most women I work with don't hit half of their daily protein needs, and they tend to overeat carbs without even realising it, even if they think they're eating healthy, and that's because carbs are in everything. And unless you're tracking, it's hard to see how much you're actually having. Now with calorie tracking, you learn how to balance your meals to see what your body really needs based on your goals, not just what's in the fridge. So is calorie counting a bit of a faff at first? Yes, 100% it is. But once you understand your food, you no longer need to do it. Remember, it's a short-term pain for long-term freedom, and it's so worth it. So how does strength training really help? Okay. It adds muscle to your body, meaning you'll burn more calories even while just sat on the sofa. Strength training increases your burn in 3 ways. You burn calories during your workout, your metabolism stays elevated for up to 72 hours post-exercise due to muscle repair. More muscle means a higher rest and metabolic rate. So if you train 3 times per week, say, your body could be in a near constant state of high burn. Plus, muscle gives your body shape, bringing back the curves that you want, especially in places like your bum. You'll feel firmer, stronger and more confident. So how do you balance cardio without overdoing it? So let me say this up front. Stop killing yourself on the treadmill. Cardio is great for your heart and your lungs and burning calories, But too much cardio is not the answer for weight loss, and here's why. It puts stress on the body, especially if your diet isn't supporting it, and it's exhausting. Let's be honest, 3 hours of strength training a week is sustainable. 3 hours of cardio, probably not. Most beginners won't keep it up for that long. And it can lead to muscle loss if you're not eating enough, which slows down your metabolism. And it can be boring, which leaves you feeling drained and not empowered. So yes, keep your steps up, go for your walks, add in some short fun cardio that you enjoy, but don't rely on it for fat loss. Lift the weights and let your cardio support your overall health. So I can't stress this enough. Your body needs protein. Every cell in your body needs it. It helps you build and repair muscle. It keeps you full, which means fewer cravings and better appetite control. And it supports fat loss because your body has to use more energy to digest protein than it does for carbs or fats. Most women I work with aren't getting even half of their daily needs. Their meals are carb heavy, which leaves them constantly hungry or bloated after eating. When you eat more protein, you stay fuller for longer, and this helps repair muscles and actually every single cell in your body, not to mention hair and nail growth and skin regeneration. And it's also less likely to be stored as fat. I have a blog on how to eat more protein in your diet, so I'll drop the link below. If you think I'm exaggerating, try tracking your intake for a week. Most women are well under 80 grams per day and are surprised how low it is. When you eat your protein, remember, you feel full, you snack less, and you support your metabolism. So let's talk about carbs, because most women I work with eat a carb-heavy diet, and it just doesn't match their energy output. Here's what you need to know. Carbs are not bad, and in fact, they're your body's main energy source. You need them for brain function, movement, and your recovery. But the key is this. Carbs are fuel. If you're not moving much, you don't need much fuel. In simple terms, if you sat on your ass all day, you do not need to eat like you're running a marathon. Most people overeat carbs because, well, let's face it, they're everywhere. Toast for breakfast, sandwich for lunch, pasta for tea, biscuits in between, and that adds up quickly. Your carbs are stored in the muscles and liver as glycogen, but those stores are really small. Once they're full, any excess is stored as fat. That's not my opinion, that's biology. So let's look at the two types of carbs. You've got your processed and your refined carbs, usually the nice looking ones in pretty packaging, and these are things like your pastries, your biscuits, sugary cereals, white pasta, cakes and crisps, fizzy drinks, sweets. These will spike your blood sugar fast, they don't keep you full and usually leave you crashing, craving more shortly after. Then you've got your whole and natural carbs, which are usually brown and plain looking. They're your fruit, vegetables, brown rice, sweet potato, whole oats, quinoa, beans and lentils, whole grain breads. These carbs give you sustained energy, fibre and nutrients, and these are the ones that will keep you fuller for longer. So remember this important fact, you do not need to cut your carbs, but you should learn how to match your intake with your output and choosing carbs that work for your body and not against it. I have a blog on this also, so I'll include the link below. A little bonus tip, if you want your body to burn fat, you've got to create the right environment. That means your body needs to use the stored carbs it already has instead of piling more in there. So let's talk about the thing that no one seems to think they can control. Sleep, stress and hormones. But you actually have more power here than you think you do. Let's start with sleep. Aiming for 8 hours is great, but it's more effective going to bed at the same time each night. A consistent bedtime routine trains your body to relax and gives you a more deeper restorative sleep. Now on to hormones, particularly leptin and ghrelin. Leptin is your I'm full hormone and it signals when to stop eating. Ghrelin is your I'm hungry hormone and it increases when you're sleep deprived or stressed. When you're tired, your ghrelin goes up and your leptin goes down, which leads to cravings for sugar and high-calorie comfort foods. You're not lacking willpower, you're hormonally out of whack. And in stress, you've got another hormone called cortisol. Chronic stress raises cortisol, which leads to fat storage. But here's how to fight back. Lift your weights, which will support insulin sensitivity and hormonal balance. Eat whole foods, especially your protein and your healthy fats. This will keep your blood sugar stable. Cut back on processed sugars and excess carbs. This will reduce your hormonal spikes. Prioritize sleep. This will balance your leptin and your ghrelin and manage your stress daily. Whatever works for you. Walking, swimming, 5 minutes of quiet time, music. And don't forget about your supplements, vitamin D, magnesium, B12, omega-3s. If you're low on any of these, they will all impact your sleep, energy and hormonal balance. Please, please, please stop dieting, and I cannot stress this enough. If you take one thing from this video today, let it be this. Stop chasing diets and instead build healthy habits that actually last. You need to start identifying your bad habits and also their triggers. For example, if sitting down with a cuppa triggers reaching for a biscuit, don't try just to stop the biscuit, change the whole routine. Have a high protein snack ready or swap the cuppa for a walk or a stretching session. I created an entire program around this called my 8-week habit transformation program. And this teaches you how to build one habit per week and how to actually stick with it. And I'll put the link down below. Some essential fat loss habits include drinking enough water, hitting your protein target, increasing NEAT, all the movement outside your workout, reducing mindless snacking, planning meals and actually sticking to them. Remember, diets don't work because they're not designed to last, but your habits do, and they are what will transform your body and your life. Remember, be patient and stay consistent. You won't see results in 30 days. And if someone's telling you that, they're probably just trying to sell you their overpriced shitty program. I've worked with so many women and I can tell you it takes time. And in fact, some women gain a little weight at first, not fat, but water and glycogen as their metabolism starts adjusting and repairing. That's a good sign. You may not see it on the scales immediately, but the changes are happening inside. Better digestion, stronger muscles, more energy, less inflammation. This is a lifestyle change, and if it's going to last, it needs to be built on real sustainable habits. Remember, your real weight loss comes from 3 healthy meals daily, moving away from processed food, drinking water, staying within your calorie target, tracking food at first, just to understand your intake. And remember, you don't need to track forever, but learning how to fuel your body properly is something that will stick with you for life. So if you've been struggling with weight loss after 40, just know you're not broken. You just need a new approach, one that's built around education, consistency and working with your body, not punishing it. No quick fixes, no silly detoxes, just smart, sustainable steps that fit into your life. If this helped, please hit like, subscribe and let me know in the comments what section hit home the most. Remember, you've absolutely got this. One habit, one step, one strong woman at a time.